Okay, so today we're taking a deep dive into something called the Fermi Paradox.
Hmm.
And we're going to explore one of its most, I guess you could say, thought-provoking potential solutions. It's called the Great Filter. Have you heard of this?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The Great Filter. It really makes you think about, well, the vastness of the universe for sure, and all the challenges, any civilization might face trying to reach out across the stars.
It really does. And it kind of pushes us to consider, some pretty, maybe even unsettling
Oh, right.
possibilities.
Yeah.
Like, are we truly alone out here?
Right.
Or is it possible that the path to becoming like a true galactic civilization
Yeah.
is just littered with, existential threats?
Yeah. It's a pretty sobering thought.
Yeah. So to kind of guide our deep dive today, we have some fascinating excerpts from the Wikipedia article on the Fermi Paradox. I'm
Yeah.
really curious to get your take on this, especially as a STEM professional, because this whole concept of the Great Filter has a lot of implications,
Mm.
for technology, for the limits of what we can know, and really for the future of humanity.
Absolutely. No, I think it's a fascinating topic and relevant for sure. Well, maybe to start, we should just quickly recap the Fermi paradox itself.
Sure.
Just the sheer scale of the universe, right? I mean, billions upon billions of stars, many much older than our sun. It would suggest that, life, even intelligent life, it shouldn't be unique to Earth, right? But we haven't found anything, like not a single piece of concrete evidence. No signals, no megastructures, nothing. Just silence.
It's almost eerie, that silence, and I think that's really what makes the Great Filter theory so interesting. It tries to explain that silence by proposing this bottleneck, right, in the development of any civilization.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So essentially, somewhere along the line in this evolutionary journey, there's this hurdle, this obstacle, so improbable, so difficult to overcome,
Sure.
that it just wipes out most, if not all, life before it can even make itself known on a galactic scale.
It's like a cosmic dead end.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And the article really highlights how that hurdle could be anything, really. Like it could be the emergence of life itself,
Hmm.
or developing intelligence, or harnessing technology, or even, running into self-destructive tendencies, which we'll talk more about.
It's kind of bleak when you think about it.
Yeah, it can be. But let's break down some of these possibilities, starting from the very beginning, shall we?
Sounds good.
So the Wikipedia article mentions abiogenesis. Do you want to explain what that is again, just for our listeners?
Sure. Abiogenesis is basically the process of life arising from non-living matter, like that transition from simple organic molecules to something that can self-replicate.
Okay.
And that could be the filter right there. Maybe that leap is so rare, it requires such a unique set of conditions that most planets just never see it happen.
That makes sense. It makes you think about, all those specific conditions that existed on early Earth.
Right. You had stable temperatures, liquid water, a protective magnetic field, and maybe even, asteroid impacts that brought in organic molecules.
And even with all that, it took, what, like almost 1 billion years for life to even appear.
Yeah, something like that.
So I guess if we were to find even simple microbial life elsewhere, like on Mars,
Right.
or maybe Europa, which is, moon of Jupiter,
Right, right.
then that would at least suggest that, abiogenesis isn't this impossible barrier.
Yeah, exactly. If life popped up in multiple places, even in our own solar system, it would mean that first step, that abiogenesis, it's not the filter, it's not holding everything back.
Right.
But on the flip side, if we search and find absolutely nothing, well, that's a point in favor of the filter being right there at the very start.
Like life itself is the rare thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. Okay. But let's say, for argument's sake,
Yeah.
that life does arise
Yeah.
somewhere else. The next potential filter that the Wikipedia article points out is intelligence. Maybe we're overestimating how often evolution actually favors brains as complex as ours.
Yeah, maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves thinking everyone's going to be as smart as us.
Right.
I mean, look at all the life on Earth. Tons of species, millions of years of evolution, and yet only one species has really reached our level of, technological sophistication.
And it makes you wonder, are we really that special? Or are we just some weird, anomaly in a universe that's actually teeming with non-intelligent life?
Yeah, it's a big question, isn't it? Like, are we the exception or the rule? There's this phrase I've heard before. It's called the algae versus alumni problem.
Algae versus alumni.
Yeah, it highlights this uncertainty, like maybe simple life, like algae or their equivalent on other planets. Maybe that's common throughout the universe. But the conditions that led to alumni, to intelligent beings like us, those conditions are super rare.
Okay, I like that. Algae versus alumni. I'm going to remember that. And, thinking about this, especially for our STEM audience, it's worth considering what those specific conditions might even be.
Yeah.
Was it the development of tools or language
Right.
or social cooperation
Right.
or something completely different that set us apart?
Yeah, those are all good candidates. It's probably some combination of all of them, plus a bit of, evolutionary luck thrown in there just for good measure.
Yeah, a little bit of luck never hurts.
No, it doesn't. And, that brings us to, I think, another potential filter: technology.
Huh?
The harnessing of technology, and maybe even more importantly, its potential pitfalls.
Right, and this is where things get really interesting, especially, I think, from a STEM perspective.
Yeah.
Because the article actually mentions this concept of, like, a universal limit to technological development. Do you think that's possible?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. Even with all we know now, in physics, there are still limitations, like the speed of light, for example. That's a pretty big challenge for interstellar travel, no matter how advanced you get. And energy, too. Energy constraints could limit how big you can build things, how complex you can make your systems.
So even if, some civilization gets to a point where they can, I don't know, harness nuclear fusion
Right.
or even manipulate gravity,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
there might be these ultimate, like, universe scale limits
Yeah.
that prevent them from ever becoming truly galactic.
Yeah, that's possible. And then there's another chilling possibility, which the article also mentions: self-destruction.
Ooh, yeah.
What if technological advancement just inevitably leads to its own undoing?
I mean, this is a question that we're already facing, right? Here on Earth, we've got existential threats like climate change.
Right.
And then the potential dangers of, AI, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it raises a crucial question. Is intelligence, inherently self-destructive?
Right, good question.
Do we, as a species, do we have the wisdom, do we have the foresight to manage the power that we've created?
I don't know.
It's something to think about. It's a question worth pondering as we keep exploring these potential filters.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good reminder that the journey from a single-celled organism to a galactic civilization is long and perilous, and there are pitfalls lurking everywhere at every stage.
Yeah, so stay tuned because we're going to continue exploring these fascinating and, kind of scary possibilities in our next segment.
And it's not just like our own technology we have to worry about. The universe itself, it can throw some pretty big curveballs our way. The Wikipedia article, it mentions gamma ray bursts.
Oh, yeah, those are like terrifying. Those are some seriously powerful events, right?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, a single gamma ray burst, it could wipe out, sterilize an entire galaxy, couldn't it?
That's what scientists think, yeah. The leading theory is they're caused by, like, the collapse of these massive stars.
Right.
Or when neutron stars merge together. And if a civilization just happens to be, in the path of one of these bursts, it's game over. No coming back from that.
Wow. It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Like how fragile life might be, even for, a civilization that's way more advanced than us.
Totally. It really underscores, like, how important it is for us to understand these events, these cosmic events, and to find ways to, maybe mitigate their impact if we can.
Yeah, because we don't want to get caught off guard.
Yeah.
But there are other potential filters out there that aren't quite as, well, catastrophic, I guess. The article also talks about the possibility that, maybe some advanced civilizations, they just choose to stay hidden.
Right.
Or maybe their tech becomes so advanced, so sophisticated, that we can't even distinguish it from, like, natural phenomena.
Yeah, the detectability problem. That's a really interesting one. Like, what if there are civilizations out there that have figured out nanotechnology or, how to harness energy on a scale that we can't even fathom? Their activities, their technology, it might just blend in perfectly with all the background noise of the universe.
So basically, our current methods, like searching for radio signals or looking for these big mega structures,
Right.
it's like we're trying to spot a submarine with, like, a pair of binoculars. Right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
We're just not equipped to see what might be right there in front of us.
Exactly. It just shows how limited our understanding is of what an advanced civilization might even look like. We're constrained by our own technology and, honestly, our own imagination.
Right. We're limited by what we can even conceive of. And then there's that whole dark forest theory, right? The idea that maybe these civilizations are deliberately hiding.
Yeah, spooky, huh?
A little bit.
The idea is basically that the universe is a dangerous place. And the best strategy is to stay quiet, avoid attracting any unwanted attention.
Don't make yourself a target.
Exactly.
It's a bit chilling to think about, but I can see how it would resonate with, our STEM audience, especially. I mean, game theory and strategic thinking, that's crucial in fields like engineering, computer science.
Oh, for sure. And the dark force theory, it forces you to think about the potential consequences of making contact. It's not just about the excitement of discovering someone else out there. What if it's not a friendly encounter?
What if we're not ready for what's out there?
Exactly.
But even if we assume that most civilizations choose to stay hidden, shouldn't we have found something, like some evidence of their past existence? Maybe ruins of some ancient megastructures or remnants of those self-replicating probes. I mean, anything.
That's a good point. It raises the question of, well, how long do these civilizations last? What if they all inevitably self-destruct after a few thousand years? Maybe they leave behind these faint traces, but they're so incredibly hard to detect across such vast distances.
Right, like finding a needle in a cosmic haystack.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Or maybe, just maybe, they transcend our understanding of technology and biology altogether, becoming something so different, so advanced, that we wouldn't even recognize them as intelligent life.
That's a mind-blowing thought. Imagine a civilization that's like merged with its technology, existing as this distributed consciousness spread across an entire galaxy, or maybe even something beyond our current understanding of physics and reality itself.
Yeah, it makes you question everything, doesn't it? Everything we think we know about the universe.
That's the beauty of the Fermi Paradox and the great filter theory, I think. They push us to the very limits of our knowledge. They force us to confront our assumptions and consider possibilities that, yeah, they might seem outlandish at first, but they are at least scientifically plausible.
Right, it's not just science fiction.
No, not at all.
It's real science, pushing the boundaries of what we know. But it's not just about abstract speculation, is it?
No, I don't think so.
These theories have, real-world implications for how we understand ourselves, our place in the cosmos.
Absolutely. The Fermi Paradox, especially the great filter idea, it's a stark reminder of just how fragile civilizations are and all the potential pitfalls, that might lie ahead for us, for humanity.
If there are these filters out there, these great filters, that have wiped out countless civilizations before us, then understanding those filters, figuring out what they are, that becomes crucial for our own survival.
It's like we're looking at this cosmic crime scene, right? And we're trying to piece together the clues so we don't become the next victim.
That's a really good analogy. And those clues, they might be right here in our own history.
Yeah.
And the challenges we're facing today and the choices we make about our future.
Totally. The great filter theory, it forces us to look both outward, to the stars, and inward, to ourselves, searching for answers that, they might ultimately determine the fate of our species.
That's a pretty heavy thought, but it's true. So where does all this leave us? We've talked about all these potential great filters. Some may be behind us, some may be still ahead. But how does knowing about all this, how does it change what we should do today?
I think that's the big question, right? If we really take this great filter idea seriously, it totally changes how we should approach, everything. Science, technology, even just how we build our society.
Right, because if the hardest part's already behind us, if we already passed the filter, does that mean we should be more, bold? Should we be actively trying to make contact, sending out signals, that sort of thing?
Some people argue exactly that. They say, look, if we're really this rare, if we made it through, then it's our duty to, reach out. Spread knowledge, maybe even help other civilizations avoid the mistakes that wiped everyone else out.
I can see the logic there, but haven't we also talked about the risks? Like the dark forest idea that maybe attracting attention is the worst thing we could do right now?
Yeah, it's a real dilemma. And it's one we can't just ignore. Because even a tiny chance that there are hostile civilizations out there, that makes broadcasting our location pretty unwise.
I see what you mean. And I think this is something that our STEM audience can really grasp because it's all about balancing, pushing boundaries with understanding risk. It's like developing some powerful new technology.
Right.
You have to think about the unintended consequences.
Exactly. And, this kind of circles back to what we talked about earlier. Maybe the biggest filter of all, it's not some external force, some gamma ray burst or whatever. But it's us. It's our own nature. If intelligence, by its very nature, leads to self-destruction, that's a problem no amount of scientific progress can really solve.
So what do we do then? Do we just become super cautious? Do we stifle innovation because we're scared? I mean, that could backfire, right? It could make us more vulnerable in the long run.
It's about finding a balance, I think. It's about, prudent advancement. We should keep exploring space, yeah? But we also need to really focus on things like how do we make AI safe? How do we manage our resources? How do we resolve conflicts peacefully? The stuff that could make or break us as a species.
So basically, prepare for both possibilities.
Hmm.
That we're this rare thing and we have a responsibility to the galaxy,
Right,
but also that we're in a dangerous universe.
right.
And survival might depend more on our wisdom than our tech.
Exactly. And I think even if it's just a theory, this great filter idea, it's a really powerful lens. It helps us see our choices differently. It reminds us that everything we do, it has consequences. Not just for us, but maybe for the future of intelligence itself.
Wow, that's quite a thought to end on. I hope our listeners, whether this has sparked your curiosity about the Fermi Paradox, or made you rethink the direction of technology, or just highlighted how fragile everything we know really is. Well, that's what this deep dive is all about.
I think so, yeah. And maybe the biggest takeaway is this. In a universe this vast and mysterious, the most important questions aren't just out there, among the stars. They're right here, inside ourselves.
That's a great point. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. It's been, I think, a mind-expanding conversation.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed it.
And for our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep looking up at the stars.